policemen have lost their lives in a crash that occurred on the Benin-Ore Expressway in Ondo State while returning from a national assignment in Edo State. Punch Metro gathered that the policemen were on their way home following the conclusion of the governorship election in Edo State when the vehicle conveying them and their colleagues to Lagos State was involved in an accident in Ore, Ondo State. While their colleagues survived with some sustaining varying degrees of injury, the corpses of the 3 policemen were recovered from the scene of the accident. The corpses were said to have been deposited in the Ore General Hospital's mortuary. It was learned that the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Hakeem Udumosu, on Sunday, September 13, deployed 1,000 policemen to complement the personnel deployed in Edo State by the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, a policeman who was in the vehicle and spoke on the condition of anonymity, said he and his colleagues spent a week in Edo State for the election and had completed their assignment and were on their way back to their stations in Lagos when the accident, which claimed the lives of the officers, occurred last Sunday. He said in an accident claimed 3 policemen while on our way back from election duties in Edo State last Sunday, September 20th, 2020. One of the victims was Corporal Oluwafemi Adeyanju, an indigene of Ondo State, where the accident occurred. The other 2 policemen were inspectors. I was also deployed to Edo State for the election and we had completed the national assignment and were coming home when the accident happened in Ore and 3 of my colleagues were killed. Apart from the 3 policemen who died on the spot, others sustained varying degrees of injury. The family of Adeyanju has gone to claim his remains and buried him in his own hometown in Akure. We don't know about the rest of the victims. When we were departing for Edo State, more than 80 buses parked outside the gates of the police command's headquarters in Ikeja and convened also Edo State. Another policeman who also spoke on the condition of anonymity told Punch Metro that the government abandoned them after completing their assignment in Edo State, adding that all the policemen deployed in the state for the election had to find their way back home by themselves. Another policeman who spoke on the condition of anonymity told Punch Metro that the government abandoned them after completing their assignment in Edo State, adding that all the policemen deployed in the state for the election had to find their way back home by themselves. He said, we left the command headquarters around 2 p.m. on Sunday, September 13th, 2020 and spent a week before the election on Saturday, September 19, 2020 and we returned on Sunday. It was the federal government that was responsible for our transportation to Edo State, but we were abandoned and after the completion of the assignment and had to return back to base by ourselves. He said, we left the command headquarters around 2 p.m. and we were left alone to be back by ourselves without the government's intervention. I paid my transport fare back home because I couldn't remain in Edo State, and I thank God that I traveled for the assignment and returned home safely. It was not a small journey. Out of the 1,000 policemen deployed in Edo State, only 3 could not make it back home and some others got injured. The police authorities should find a way to honor their sacrifice while serving the nation. Adeyanju, popularly known as Too Short, was said to be 35-year-old and was reportedly survived by his wife, children, sisters, and aged father. When contacted, the State Police Public Relations Officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi said he would get back to our correspondent but had yet to do so as of the time of filing this report, despite repeated calls and a text message sent to his mobile telephone line. You can imagine it's just a pity, it's very, very unfortunate, and we hope and we pray that the ones who have lost their lives, may their soul rest in peace, and also the Lord should comfort their families. It's really, really pathetic. You see, You took these people down there, you prepared them to go to that place. Then what happened? They had to find their way back. They had to find their way back. You know, if we could relate one or two things together, does it mean because, I don't know, maybe your guess is as good as mine, because the election did not favor or whatever? I don't just understand, but let's just even leave that aside. Why would the government be doing such a thing? You took these people down there. You took them down there. You prepared them down there. Why didn't you bring them back the way you took them down? And that is why we are talking about electronic voting. A lot of things happening during election in this our country. It's nothing to write home about. Honestly, nothing to write home about. Because that is when you see this all manner of things. It's not as if maybe some things or some fraud might not occur, but it will be minimal. It will be minimal, very, very minimal. And the elections will be to the extent, to a very large extent, be credible. And people will be able to trust it to a very large extent. Of course, we know that in this life, nothing is, fully perfect. But my concern is that why would you leave these people? Anything could have happened, but at least as a responsible government, that is how they do. That is how they treat Nigerian people. Not to talk of this police force. And unfortunately, I believe that most of these police people, or according to the agency, if you are going to be recruited, there's rules and regulations, irrespective of whatever, that come rain, come sun, no matter what, you will still be on the side of the government. Because most of the time, the reason why I'm saying is that most of the time when you see people protesting, or you say people or hear people protesting, people will be arrested. The same policemen will arrest them. But I believe that within their hearts, maybe that is not what they want to do, but because of what they have signed, irrespective of anything, you must protect the government. Then if they can be protecting the government, because most of the time we always get at them that you guys, you are even the most, you are the people who are the most, you receive all this suffering. You are the one who suffer this whole thing most, and yet you see people protesting even for on your behalf. You still arrest them. You don't even blame them, because that is what they have signed for. Whether it is against the government or it is in favor of the government, they just have to favor the government. They just have to support the government. That is why you see them arresting protesters, because those are the things people are protesting for is this thing that has just happened, not doing things in the right way. Then why is it that the same government will not be able to protect these people? They always go by what you want them to do, but you cannot even fulfill your own promise, your own part of the whole thing from them. You can't even do that. How can we continue to live like this? Electronic voting is the best. Electronic voting is the best. So that we avoid all of this. This is just one of the things that have been happening. Wrong things happens during the election. This is just one of the things. Do you know, because of this election, a lot of people have lost their lives during ޮÇN1Đ campaign and Eze-Iyamu before the election. We know how it happened. Policemen too, they suffered it. It's unfortunate. And at the end of the day, just like one of them said that the government should I don't know how he put it, should be able to take care of them and just to honor them. Yes, I think that's the word. To honor them. Not honoring them. Even those who are alive, honor them. Honor them by making them happy, because these people, irrespective of how we think about them, they are doing wonderful job. They are doing fantastic job. Honestly, because they are the receiving end most of the time. They are always exposed to any form of things. So I don't know why. But when you see the government, they take care of themselves, they take care of their cronies, they take care of their family members. But those people who are supposed to protect the joy, your life and the lives of the citizens, you don't take care of them. So guys, it's just unfortunate. Let us hear your opinion concerning this. Thank you very much. Bye.